Welcome to the bold analysis. I want you to look at this. 74% effective taxes on uncoated craft paper. How can a tax increase? How can you increase some tax from 13% to 74%? How insensitive can that be? And someone asked a question, Kevin, is Kenya Kwanza the first government to pay debts? Or are we the only country paying debts? Those questions are very important. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the bold analysis. The Kenya Association of Manufacturers appeared in the National Assembly before Parliamentary Committee and opened the lid on outright insensitive, poor economic policy that was sneaked in the poisoned Finance Bill 2023-2024. We spoke so much about other things, but analysts used to tell us that you guys talking about housing levy. There's so many other things there that are not just getting the attention of the media. And today, I want to bring one to you that I know you've never heard about. No one has even thought about this. And today, I want us to look at it. Manufacturers now petition MPs over carton paper taxes. Why is this a big problem or a stab in our economy? Kindly subscribe to our channel. I'm also reaching out passionately that I want us to build a house for this granny here. She comes from Uyoma, Kabongo, somewhere. And she is 83 years old. She had children, 15. 13 died, only 2, but are a bit not stable. Actually, they're all married and they're unstable there. So she stays at that place alone. And the house is leaking and is in a very poor state. So I reached out. Someone had already forwarded that case to me. And one of us even offered 20 iron sheets and was telling me, Kevin, try what you can get. I know things are tough, guys, but let's try. Just donate as little as 50, as 100, as what you can get, just to ensure. For today, I want to make sure that we get 15 iron sheets and add with that so that we can have 45 and buy the nails and other materials that are needed. Then from tomorrow, we shall look at the other things that are needed. On 2nd, this will be our first project for April. On 2nd, for January, on 2nd, I want to make sure that I leave this place going back to Nairobi when this granny has a house, a place, a roof on top, that she has a roof. Kindly, let's ensure. I think I've never done this, but I believe that we will achieve it. Kindly, let's say thank you very much for those who are coming through. I've already gotten 10,000 because I only did one video, I think, on 24th. But I took a break because I took a Christmas break for 3 days, so that's why I resumed today on 28th. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what this newspaper is saying. Manufacturers are saying that 2 new tax measures contained in the Finance Act 2023 have sent shockwaves into the horticulture and tea industries after the new tax pushed up prices for imported craft paper. Which are these taxes? Or what exactly they're saying? There was an introduction of 10% export and investment promotion levy, and Kenya also raised duty on imported paper and paper products from 13%, and these taxes cumulatively, effective taxes raised them to 74% from 13%. So this is it. The raw materials used to make cartons, the taxes on those raw materials have been increased. Those cartons are the ones that are used to export our tea and coffee, packaging of our tea and coffee. So what we did, on one hand, we want to export more. But on the other hand, cartons, the raw materials that are used to make cartons that are used for packaging for them before they're exported, the taxation, those raw materials have been increased. Now, the intention of that bill was to ensure that we protect local companies that are producing paper. Of course, ones that we had even fallen or something. So, you know, we are supposed to protect them to ensure that there is a reduction in papers coming in so that they can produce. However, how do we protect those companies if there is no raw material here in this country? You know, you can only protect me if there is a raw material here. So even if you increase the tax on the raw material coming, then I will use the one around. There is no raw material. There is no raw material in this country for making paper. We have to import. So that's number one. Now the manufacturers are also telling MPs that while Kenya has done that, our neighbors are having better terms, but not even about it. So there is another thing I want us to look at. It's called DRS. DRS is, I want you to get it in full. Some companies which enjoy duty remission because they manufacture cartons for packaging, export such as pineapples, avocados, flowers, have all allegedly been denied duty remission scheme. There is something called duty remission scheme. So that is the DRS. Now, how it works here is, if you are a company that imports, that exports these flowers, tea, avocados, and pineapples, you are allowed to import those raw material duty-free. So that because you are importing the carton raw materials to make cartons directly for export. Unlike others that are not in the export of coffee and tea and pineapple, those others can make the boxes here and also sell locally. But the companies specifically that are using cartons to export are supposed to enjoy that scheme. Now, that has also been scrapped. So what are we saying? The Kenya Association of Manufacturers are telling MPs that, look here, what if you compare that with our neighbors from Tanzania, for example, it's cheaper to export these raw materials from Tanzania than abroad. Now, Tanzania is getting the same raw materials of making cartons cheaper, while we are all supposed to export coffee, tea, and flowers. So what is the resultant effect? The effect, according to Kenya KAM, is that our exports are becoming more expensive. The more our exports are expensive, the market the other end will, of course, everyone is looking for where you can get the same product at a better cost. They are rerouting their market share to our neighbors. So in short, Kenya is slowly losing its competitive advantage. Now, that issue of raw materials, when I was just doing this, I think it was, I also read an article about affordable housing. Yeah? And the critics, or rather the analysts that are looking at the feasibility of affordable housing are arguing the same issue of raw materials has also affected that sector. Remember, when initially, from the first month of this year, 2024, the cost per unit of making a house was less compared to now. By then it was 41,000 to 60,000 square unit, the cost. Now, the cost has increased. The cost of building those houses have increased because raw materials used to make the building materials, the taxes have been increased there. By the same finance bill. The same finance bill, the cost of importing raw materials used to make cement and other building materials like steel that are needed in those houses, the raw materials, the cost of making those materials are high. And there is a high probability that if the investors that are now in AH are supposed to scoop back their money, they will have to increase the cost of those houses. Now, if they increase the cost of those houses, then that means, are we still within the, are the houses still going to be affordable? So the affordability will go low while the availability is high. That is the same issue with maize farmers. Maize farmers are saying that yes, there was fertilizer, but despite the fact that there was fertilizer, there was this issue of we are going to subsidize production and not consumption. So they are appreciating subsidized fertilizer, but at the same time, the cost of tilling, of preparing the land was high because of fuel. Even now, the cost of preserving and all that, the cost has gone high. Even the buyer who is supposed to buy that maize is going to sell, and the millers are saying the cost of milling has gone high because of the cost of fuel. But what has happened? The farmers are now with maize and they're forced to buy to sell at a low price. What has happened? There is availability of food, but the farmers have lost the business in planting maize. Ladies and gentlemen, those three examples point out to one thing. We are going to subsidize production and not consumption is a very brilliant idea, and it is something that needs to be understood clearly. But if it is not well managed, then it's not going to achieve anything for William Ruto and the team. If you look at here, introduced through the Finance Bill Act 2023, that levy is aimed at boosting local production of paper and paper products by shielding it from external competition, mostly from finished products. The levy is also aimed at increasing the export of paper and paper products. How? Because they are saying that if the cost of importing then will go down, then people will stop importing papers. The people that are importing those cartons. So we are supposed to import cartons and export, but if our exports become expensive while we are importing at a higher cost, then we are simply not making a business value. That is the whole point. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to explain to you on economic terms and looking at the economic interpretation why what this situation we are getting ourselves in is actually going to put us in a big mess. Kindly subscribe to our channel. I am still reminding you once again about this fundraiser, guys. I want us to put a house for our grandmother here. Kindly, let's see. Thank you for those who already started, and of course, I took the break. But I want to try. Like for now, we are looking for iron sheets. Even if you can buy the iron sheets, if you are around bound, you know someone who can buy the iron sheets and connect with me. One iron sheet goes at 1,300. We only need now 15 more. Then we need to buy the nails and start looking at buying the poles za kujenga. So now we are starting with that. I want to take between now and probably 1st of January 2024. Put up the materials on 2nd. We'll go there. This is going to be our project for January. Kindly. And thank you guys for supporting this. We must balance our revenue policies against economic assessment impact. We must do economic assessment impact. As much as these policies are going to make us get more money, but what is the impact on the economy? That question needs to be answered clearly. Before we agree on we are going to do this or we are going to do that, we must ask ourselves the tough question. If we introduce this levy, yes, we are going to get revenue. And of course, we've been seeing the way government has been celebrating strides and impacts on revenue made. We need to ask ourselves those questions. Really, what exactly is going on? Now, number 2 is while we look at subsidized production and not consumption, we must just look at, and in fact, Ruto must just look at 2 things: the shilling and the cost of fuel. Do we have a silver bullet that can help us manage the shilling? that is losing its value. The shilling is losing its value in the global stage, and it is the international trading currency. So we are even, leave alone even these levies, we are even importing these raw materials at a higher cost because of the dollar. So what is the alternative? What are other solutions? We need to start thinking along that line. How about if we get to 2025 and the shilling will be at 200, we'll be trading at 200. How are our goods going to cost? So it has had a stab, it has affected the cost of our goods, and that is why we must think beyond it. Lastly, to Kenya Kwanza administration, I know very well that now there is a discussion going on about how we are going to make, or there is a discussion going on now about the finance bill, the 2024-2025. It is very important. But as we come up with the policies, we should at least try to be sensitive on the impact, the competitive impact it will have in the region, because we are not working in silos. We are not working in silos. We are not alone. There is Kenya, there is Uganda, there is Tanzania. Now I am at home. I just realized one thing. There is a milk brand known as Top Dairy Top. I went, yes, I have some small shop here. So my mom runs some small shop. So when we went to buy, I realized they were telling me they want to buy that Dairy Top. Then when I picked the bucket of the Dairy Top, niliambiwa it comes from Uganda. In fact, we were told there is a milk that comes from Uganda and it's the one they prefer. They don't even prefer the one that is here locally, because according to them, it's even more expensive. I was like, what? People from this side, Western Nyanza, can confirm what I'm saying. You know, that there is a milk brand known as Dairy Top or Top Dairy, that these people this side are even opting for it rather than the other brands, because they are saying locally it is even more, you know, it is very cheaper. Even though we had stopped import of milk products from Uganda. But if, because it is cheap, these guys, they stayed around, these retailers and wholesalers on this side are actually bringing it in on this other side. So ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. Let's meet in the next podcast. Asanteni. Welcome, Team Bold. I am in Uyoma, Akele. Yeah, so I was talking about Adopter Family, and one of us reached out to me in a very special way, and I decided just to drive through and come to this place. So this is our package for Adopter Family from one of our friends, the US. He told me, Kevin, Shoshi is at home, is someone I know, and I want you to think around it and bring in something for her. So this is her package, and there's a very special case here, and that is why I am here, because as you can see, the Shosh you're seeing here is an 83-year-old Shosh, and there is a case. If you look at this house, this is where she stays, and this place, it's any measure imeharibika ile mbaya, so hata it's even leaking. We will get inside and look at how it is, but on my end is the daughter mwenye akona hapa, atatusaidia to explainie, but allow us to speak in the Luo. We will translate down there so that the information can be more clear and get out. Nango made. Ini milungi nina.
Ani luonga ni Jen
Achieng. Pimna ninto odak nade nikeche ngamano wachane modak loka chano wachana ni kae en matek kabisa.
En matek nikech en mama manonyuolo nyithinda 15.
15.
To bang'e nyithinde go notho, wadong' ji 2. Koro bang' mwasebedo ni wadong' ji 2, yuto waonge. Kichaya nan to go wadwa. An bende jaoda notho higa mar 2003 koweya gi nyithindo. To lwedo be onge nikech kata somo ok nasomo. Nadhi atedo katin, na tedo gi higni 13. Kane pok asomo. Ma kata somo nakia, kata mana kisunga kia. Koro osebedo ka mama wani oseiko nyithindo, mawadwa mogik nyocha tho higni 2 mokalo. To kana ndeyalo machon cha to nitie owetene mane ni Amerika, ne gin owete 2. Neno Ulo gi Paul. Koro Ulo nokuongo tho. to Paul noduogo tho bang'e. Paul ema yocho tho mogik. Koro bang' to Paul
ni ema ne dwa gedone.
Paul ema ne dwa gedone.
To tho kapok otimo no.
Paul otho kapok otimo ni gedono. Koro chieng' kel Paul no kama ne wiye koro lal godo. Mageno ne orumo gi kanyo.
Yes, guys, so she's a bit unstable. Hayuko that stable. That is why she will not really point out. She cannot present a big picture. She cannot communicate well because she's a bit feeble. That is why the daughter is speaking on behalf. Koro kana eto pole mane wiye no lale.
No lale kabisa. Koro en ng'at ma wiye lal. Koro chiemo no yude thagruok, dak bodak matek nikech kata sani ng'ama odag onge. En ng'ama kokelne to eko nyalo chamo. Koro Paul no, gimomiyo Paul ne wito pache nikech Paul nondiko ne pesa giko dwe.
Paul nondiko ne pesa giko dwe.
Giko dwe ma kata ka wang'a oyepo na yudo ka pesa Paul ko. Paul ne oro pesa ko Amerika 20,000. Mano ni biro ne e dwe ka dwe. Kane luwo lweto wadgi maloka. Ma Rusinga. Kosekel kucho ta ikone pesa no kon. Koro kaka ne Polo to e kaka pesa no bino.
Guys, so what's happening? Shosh alikuwa she was fine way back because they used to have a brother mwenye alikuwa in US and the brother used to support her monthly. So since the brother passed on, he lost akili, I think because of what had happened. He lost his way and since then life changed and it's been so difficult. That's what really I understand from this place. So odne ni wat no ne kacha uket par nikech ang'o nikech ochwer.
Uket par nikech ochwer. Sama par no onge to chwera piny.
Ka koth ochwe to koth opiny.
Opiny. Koro par no ket ni geng'ruok go sama koth chwe tinyalo yudo kami banrie go.
To kama ogi din no.
Mano dirisa.
Mae dirisa ni?
Mae dirisa ni mane kaka en nyaka otieno. En kamano.
To nindo kocha koro?
Ondo kono to tede iye kanyo. Koro nikech kanyo watucho nikech iro.
Kanyo utucho nikech iro?
Koro kitedo to iro wuok godo. Mane kama iro.
To mae boxi?
Mano box moyiech. Mano box moyiech.
Guys, so I want us to do something very fast. This house was built no gerechon. And the person who connected me to this story promised me, Kevin, can you adopt this family? Can you adopt Shosh? And for your December, adopt a family program, adopt these shows. And he has given me already 20 iron sheets. So I want to come back here before New Year. I want to establish a house for Shosh here before New Year. And as you see, the age has advanced. I already have 20 iron pieces of iron sheets. So I think I will just need some addition, some bow. And I also want to do the plaster because hawezi endelea kumwono. I cannot use the mchanga to do it. So we will do the plaster na tumtengeneze nyumba. So if you can give me Smithy, if you can give me any other thing, and even those people around this place, I want to come back here on 27th and put up a house for Shosh in adopting. Already I have 20 iron sheets, so I think I'll add only 15 because tulikuwa tunapata nyumba yenye anaweza pata mtu akiishi na yeye anaweza lala so nyumba igawe mara mbili. So we need that and I'm reaching out to you. Let's do it and see what we can do. This is the family. I want us to adopt Shosh for this December and I think we can do it.